you know, you got the right person. I'm a
Right.
person that recognizes a problem and I come up with a solution.
Mm.
So I got with my tech team and we built a platform, an app, and a web portal called Hero Alert. So now when you call 911, it's like FaceTiming them in real
Wow.
time. And it
Mm.
gives them your address, your phone number, your date of birth, everything. They can see what's going on in front of you, behind you, and all of it is in real time.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So it
Yeah.
cuts down on that time to deliver the critical information when you're in an emergency moment. Even if you can't talk, you can text now, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And it sends all of that information directly to the nearest 911 dispatcher. And then they're able to send that to the nearest first responder. Now we've created a seamless ecosystem
Yeah.
Mm.
and it's all in real time.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
You know.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So
super smart. People
yeah.
need that, because you just never know
You just
what
never
kind
know.
of situation that you're going to be in, if you can be verbal, if you can't be verbal,
Yes.
So yeah,
Yep.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that one little situation
Changed everything.
changed my whole life. Now I'm like, oh, this is
Focus.
purpose.
You're
Yeah, I'm
focused. That's
focused.
right.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
because you don't want it to happen to somebody else too. You
Exactly.
sit there and go, wow, you know what? Luckily, they chose the wrong person, but I am the right person.
I'm the right person.
to
I
get
said,
this
like,
shit done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all like y'all got the right
I feel
one.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say, okay.
I'm going to
Yes.
make a change.
There you go. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and so for the last 2 years,
You've been
almost 2
working on
years
that?
now, I've been developing that, and we're finally, you know what I mean, about to release the pilot. I'm pretty much done with the tech.
Awesome.
And we're about to start releasing the pilot out here in Roswell and Alpharetta.
Nice.
And yeah, and I'm just gonna
So it's
go
an
crazy.
app. It's an app they can obviously purchase on the App Store.
Yeah,
and
so
put
the
it
app is
together?
free. We're in beta, so I haven't put it up live yet
Okay.
because
Yeah.
we're gonna run through a pilot.
Mhm.
We're in beta, you know what I mean? We're
Okay.
testing and making sure all the UATs and APIs and all that stuff is working properly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, probably I would say the next month and a half, 2 months maybe, you'll
Mhm.
be able to go to the App Store and just download it.
Now, how'd that get started? Like obviously, entrepreneur. You're a business guy now. You're
Mhm.
smart, right? You're a smart guy, anyways. We
Like
know
I
that.
am, yeah.
Right, but now you create something. Like you said, you found a problem. You find a solution.
Mhm.
Boom. You're helping the world.
Yeah.
But how do you get involved with? You got 911 here that you got to say, hey, we want to integrate with
Mhm.
you and all. How did that go? And what were those conversations like? And where did you have to go to get them?
Yeah, so I I went to LaGrange. I don't know if you guys familiar with it. So
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So I go down to LaGrange for about a month, and I start training with the actual cadets down there. Chief Lou was the chief of police down there at the time. I think he just retired.
Mm.
And I told him about what I was doing. Hero at first, we're still focused on the community, building that bridge between the community and law enforcement.
Mhm.
But what I wanted to understand was what's the dynamic between the police, and the community. So in order for me to understand that, I needed to go and see what they was getting taught and
Mhm.
trained, right? So I went through that whole training, process. Went down to LaGrange for like almost 2 months, sat in
Yeah.
their school. I saw all the stuff they were being taught, and just started understanding the process.
You dove in.
I had to dive in.
Yes.
I had to
Yes.
dive all the way in because I'm
Fully
like,
committed. Boom. I'm committed. now.
yeah, you have to. That's
That's
the
right.
only way you win.
Yes.
The only way you win. You have to go all in. And so what I started understanding is I'm like, wait, police get a bad rap a lot of times. Now don't get me wrong, there are some bad apples.
Sure.
But
Everywhere. Yeah.
But what we don't really understand is let's take an officer, right? That goes to work at 6 a.m. in the morning. He responds to a train wreck or a shooting or whatever, or robbery or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
At 7 a.m. And then at 11 a.m., he's responding to somebody, done died or somebody, domestic violence or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
And then at 3 o'clock, he's responding to some other traumatic, experience. Not any way to release these things that he has already experienced within those 4 or 5 hours.
Mhm.
So then let's say he shows up to the neighborhood, a community, you know what I'm saying, full of, Black people or, minorities or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Well, he haven't had a chance to release that stress off of what he's been dealing with for the last 4 or 5 hours. So when he gets to a certain neighborhood and there's a domestic violence case or there's some kid, being irrational, right? He goes and he don't know where he's at on the ladder. So he may be feeling a sense of frustration, or he may be angry, or something in his personal life may be going on. We just never know.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's everybody walking down the street.
Walking down the street, right?
People,
So he shows up and the kid wind up. They, he tased the kids, or worse, he may shoot the kid, or they get into a tussle. And when they get into a tussle, a crowd gathers, right?
Yeah.
So when that crowd is gathering, now he got 3 or 4 different threats where he don't know that, little Pookie maybe, have a brick, or, little John may have a stick, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
He's on alert and he don't know where the threat is coming from. So his thing is, okay, how can I make sure I get home safe tonight, right? So he's trying to identify the matriarch of the community, grandma, auntie, or somebody that everybody respect in that community. So they can say, hey guys, listen, let me do my job, right? Calm down. I get you guys some answers, but I can't do my job properly because John over here, he's screaming, yelling, and, little Susu, she going, she ain't got no type of coup. She, get your hands up. Like, it's just total chaos, right? So when I started understanding the way they thought and the way we react, I'm like, oh, we just don't have the adequate education to bridge that gap, between law enforcement and the community. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started understanding all that, and we started putting all of those, dynamics into Hero Alert, and everything that we started building, so we can start building that bridge. But I started going to the 911 dispatch centers as well, and started understanding, hey, what are y'all pain points? Well, their biggest pain point is, okay, when we're getting these calls, we're trying to communicate with you, but communicate with the nearest first responder at the same time.
Right.
I'm like, you know how chaotic that is? They have speakers sitting on the desk, live speakers, right? So all of that noise is coming to them while they're trying to talk on the phone to you at the same time. So it's super duper chaotic and just, it's antiquated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what we've built is an actual platform to where all of that information is just right there.
Yeah.
It sits on top of any existing software that they have. So we don't have to go in and try to integrate with Motorola, their CAD system, et cetera,
Wow.
right? It sits directly on top of their system, just like every other software that they use already today.
Right.
So,
Genius.
Yeah. So now when you call in, if you got, even if you got pre-existing conditions, right, we have it to where you can upload all that stuff. So if you're diabetic, or you got a pace heart monitor, or
Huge.
you have mental, health issues, you can call a crisis center. We also have this alternative resource where instead of calling 911, if you calling for a mental crisis situation, you can call a mental crisis professional or crisis center, right? That can help you in that critical moment. They can see what's going on and help de-escalate, the situation before escalating. Because a lot of times too, when the police arrive on scene, they wind up escalating the situation because they don't understand how to deal with mental health crisis.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's good. It's a great solution. I'm sure you can branch it in many, many, many other ways. I'm already thinking of so many ways that you could probably utilize that. Just elder people too.
That's what we already been talking to AARP.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so you have, you have a line of kids as well. That's awesome. That's a good thing. So see, something good happened out of it.
There you go.
One way or another.
Things happen for you, not to you.
That's right.
There you go.
Amen to that. Amen to that.